What's going on YouTube? Handy with Andy's Dizzy Vlogs. Um, the rain's picking up. So I guess I just wanted to do this video because I have some things going on that are very frustrating. So for one, well, I'll just talk about this one because this is the most important, I guess. I have this tingling and numb sensation in my arms and legs. It's like all my hands, down my forearm, in my feet and up my calves, and I think it's been going on for the past... Okay, well, this is the tricky thing is that, like, I think I've noticed it on it, like, here or there, but never, like, never to a degree that, like, made me alarmed or, think about it very much. And also, I have a cold right now. I'm staying home from work tomorrow. I have a really bad cold. I think because I work outside and the temperature change, it was like 70 one day, and then the next morning was 40 degrees, below 40. So, so at first I started thinking, well, maybe because of the cold, all my symptoms flared up, or maybe the cold medication that I took, maybe I reacted weird to that with my medications. My medications interacted with my cold medicine. I don't know, that seems unlikely. Excuse me. What was the thing I was gonna say? And I mentioned this in a couple of my previous videos, but lately at work, I cannot shake this notion, like, when I'm climbing stairs at work, I feel so much weaker than I know I am. Like, I used to do the Stairmaster for 15, 20 minutes every day. And granted, I'm a little bit overweight, but I climb the stairs every day. And it seems like lately I've been getting burned out. Not winded, but like my muscles literally just, for anyone who works out, when you're, doing whatever exercise, when your muscles start to like get to their, the end of how much you can do, it's because of lactic acid building up in your muscles. And that's what makes your muscles really tight and, well, not tight, but that's the burning sensation where you like can't go anymore. And that happens to me like way faster than I know it should be happening. And it's a hard thing to like quantify, but like yourself and your body and you know what you're capable of. And especially if, like me, I've been working in this industry for four, I don't know, 4 to 5 years, and I guess 4 years. And either way, like, I know what my limits are with my body, and I know what it takes for me to get tired, and it's just very frustrating feeling like my body just like it's not working properly, and I know it, but like I don't, when do you say something, like, when does it become to the point where it's, when it, uh, when it leaves the realm of, being a hypochondriac and making a big deal about nothing because you're an anxious person, which I don't actually think I'm a hypochondriac. I I'm just very aware of my body and how it works, and I know when something's wrong. Um, I don't always think I'm sick, um, but when something is abnormal, I am very aware of it. And that fact is something I've been noticing the past couple months. Um, and then more alarming is just recently, like I said, like my hands and down my forearm, even, and then my feet and up into my legs. It doesn't matter if I'm standing or sitting or laying down, like my hands and forearms are like warm and tingly, and it's so annoying. And it's been like this all day. So obviously, I Googled it, and I basically have diabetes and a thyroid problem, and an infection, and my kidneys are failing. So it was nice knowing all of you. Um, but obviously, I'm kidding. I don't know. I am slightly concerned. That would suck so bad if I had is type 2 diabetes. I don't know, I forget which one's which, but I was tested a long time ago and they said I was like borderline, but they were like, no, you're just a little bit, I don't know. And another thing, like, I feel like I'm a little bit warm, and I don't know, my cheeks could look red just because of working outside and wind rash, but I feel like I don't know. I just don't know anything anymore. Um, but I also started thinking about, like possible correlations between a few things. So, vestibular migraines. Um, I have had Raynaud's syndrome since I was a kid. Not formally diagnosed, but my sister has it, and I have the same symptoms as her. My hands get extremely cold and painful in, temperatures that most people don't even think about being cold in. Like there can be 50-degree days when my hands are cold. And 50 degrees is not cold. Every other part of me feels awesome, but my hands are cold. And then when you get into the 40s, everyone was making fun of me the other day because I was wearing gloves. But we were sitting in the shade. There was a constant breeze, and it was 40 degrees. So what's it called? The wind chill temperature was probably 35 or below because it was a pretty strong breeze that was constantly blowing on us. Like I said, in the shade. So it was cold, and my hands were freezing. Anyways, so the whole thing about Raynaud's syndrome is, I believe it's due to poor circulation, and that of course manifests more so in your limbs. So there's that, and then my other sister has vasovagal syncope, and she basically will just randomly pass out, like she faints. Doesn't happen to her often, but I have caught her falling before, and I know it happened to her when she was younger. So I don't know if both of those are like related as far as like circulation issues, but I have the Raynaud syndrome, um, and I don't know how this is related or if it is, but with vestibular migraines, I often get um, one of the symptoms I get a lot is where I feel like I'm going to faint. And that happened to me today. I was working on my porch and I had to go to Home Depot and I walked around for a good half hour and I was, for the most part, fine going into the aisles and, all that stuff. Um, was not like terribly dizzy, did not have a headache. But after about 20 to 30 minutes, I started feeling a heightened sense of awareness, and I started feeling lightheaded, and it kept like I would get like spikes of it. Like if this is normal, I was kind of riding up here, and then I would get like, kind of like these bursts of like, and not a panic attack, but like the level of faintness like would increase, like suddenly, like it would do this and come back down, and I would like, you know, nobody could tell anything was going on with me, but like internally I was like, oh crap. And um I basically didn't say anything. I was with my brother-in-law and I didn't say anything because, I felt these things for 2 years now. And I was just trying to ignore it, and yeah, I was trying to ignore it. But there was one spike where it was like it. I actually stopped, and we were both walking side by side, and I stopped walking suddenly and grabbed onto something, like one of the end caps, and because I thought I was gonna fall. I thought I was gonna faint. No, of course, I've had that same exact sensation so many times, and I've never actually fainted, but there's so many times when I feel like I'm going to. And here's one other anecdotal thing that I want to tie into all this is that, when I'm at work and I'm, performing whatever tasks I'm performing, a lot of times or often I have to bend down. Not like bend down, but like crouch down, like sitting on your tiptoes kind of, and do things, at a crouched position. Or just like not like maybe cross-legged or like sitting on your legs somehow, and my legs go numb so fast and they become uncomfortable incredibly fast, like within 30 seconds to a minute, and I have to switch and move because like the circulation in my legs gets cut off. I would say, just based on watching people in my life, you know, for, I don't know, I can't give you a timeline, but for a long, long time, I've noticed that I cannot remain crouched for very long at all compared to most people. Like, it's just something I've noticed throughout my life that I seem to not be able to do it as long as other people. And I've never heard anyone else like complain that or like shift around. Like I've seen people like in that position, for 10, 20 minutes doing whatever task. And I literally have to switch or stand up to get the blood flowing after like a minute. So it's just like an observation I've had throughout my life. So I don't, what I'm getting at is have that anecdote, have the issue that I've always had since I was a kid with my hands, um, Like, I was in ski club and I've been snowboarding my whole life. And when I was a kid, when I would go to ski resorts all the time in the winter, and I'd have to go down the mountain. I could only go down the mountain like 2 or 3 times, and then I'd have to sit in the lodge for like 20 minutes because my hands would be so painfully numb. And, oftentimes my friends would, go down the hill several times before I'd meet back up with them. And I did this the entire time I was at the resort. So this, like, circulation with my hands getting cold has always been a problem. My sister has a condition where she faints randomly. Um, so, yeah, I'm just, piecing thoughts together that I've had. Um, and then, like I said, today, like, has been the most alarming. Uh, because, like I said, my forearms and hands are just like, it's so annoying. I cannot get comfortable. It just feels like half of my body needs to, like, pump blood better. Like, I'm not getting blood to my limbs. And, it's slightly concerning because that's a pretty big deal. If your limbs are not getting circulation, uh, your tissue dies. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I know I worry about things a lot more than I should, but it's hard not to when it's your body and you feel it and you know something's going on. You can't ignore it. But like, something I've been keeping in the back of my head today and yesterday was how much cold medicine I can take because it has acetaminophen in it, and you're not supposed to take more than, I think it's 4,000 milligrams in 24 hours. So like last night, I remember I had taken 1.5 capfuls, and I remember going to take some more, and I was like, oh crap, how much, you know, I was just like mentally thinking, how much can I take until this time, tomorrow night. Uh, but why am I saying that? Because you can get kidney failure from too much acetaminophen. And so I was like conscious of that and making sure I didn't go over. Uh, and on top of that, how many supplements and medications I take. People have made comments to me about, your liver's going to fail taking all that stuff. It has to be processed by your kidneys and your liver. And so I started thinking, well, I don't know. I hope it's not the venlafaxine, or maybe I do hope it, because the other options don't sound very good. I really don't want to have diabetes. Um, it says an infection can cause tingling, but, and I do have a cold. I don't know if that's the type of infection they're talking about. Uh, and like I said, I also don't know how long this has been going on because it's just not ever something that I've mentioned. But I can't help but think it's not tied to my muscles. And I thought it was just in my legs because I've been working out, and it doesn't seem to happen when I do stuff with my arms. But I found that that's not true. We had to turn valves the other day, and I'm sure most of you watching have no clue what is, maybe one or two of you do, but big valves at like different plants, uh, refinery plants, whatever. Big valves with those wheels that you have to turn. Well, we had to open 7 of them on Saturday, and several of them take like a half an hour of constant turning to open just one valve. Uh, so doing that, and it's not easy to turn just one rotation, these big valves. It's incredible. Well, it's way more difficult than you want it to be when you have to do it for a half an hour. We'll just say that. It takes a good bit of strength to turn these valves. So imagine doing that for half an hour times 7. No, we had a crew of 6 guys, but or 4 guys, five guys, 2 guys on each valve. But it still sucks. But my arms and my triceps were like burning out way too fast. And I say way too fast in relation to like my whole lived experience of my life, knowing what my body's capable of doing. Like it was really frustrating because I was getting tired, and these guys were like outworking me, and I'm like, I am way better than this. And I know there's something internally going on, because I can't help but keep going back to this poor circulation, because poor circulation, that would mean that my muscles are not getting enough oxygen going to my muscles, which would cause weakness, and not necessarily weakness, more stamina, which is what the issue is. I can bench press or squat like a decent amount of weight for 1 rep, but to do 20 reps of something, even a body weight, like or walking up the stairs, for not very long, like 30 seconds or a minute straight of walking upstairs. And granted, I realize it's a little different, not a ton, but a little different when you're, carrying a big pipe wrench and you got boots on and pants, instead of being at the gym in shorts and really light tennis shoes and no tools in your hand. But even still, even when I have no tools and I'm just walking straight up the stairs, it's just like I feel like I get exhausted so fast compared to what I know I should be capable of doing. So those are just like symptoms outside of the phantom sensations, the faintness, the dizziness, the migraines. These are like new things that are tagging on to what I already deal with. So I don't know. Do any of you experience any of these things? I don't know. I think I already mentioned this, but I looked it up, and like diabetes is the number one reason people have tingly arms, hands, and feet. So that would suck. I really hope I don't have that. And like I said, I did get my blood tested like a good while ago, maybe 8 years ago, and they wanted me to get it tested again because it was borderline high blood sugar. And so I got it tested again, and they were like, "Oh no, it's fine, but we do want to keep our eye on that," which tells me that there I shouldn't ignore that. That's one blood test or 2 blood tests a long time ago, but it's the only thing I have to go off of, and they were concerned, so they had me do it again. Because they were, they didn't want me to have diabetes or be like pre-diabetic and, not have me do anything about it. But now it's obviously much later in my life than it, so I don't know. – That's a mild concern of mine. Um, – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– –– – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – –– the infection, like I said, it was like mentioning things like HIV, hepatitis, uh, Lyme disease, uh, I forget what other infections it mentioned, but I don't think I have any of those things. I'm pretty certain I don't have AIDS. Um, but it mentioned a bunch of like pretty serious things that I'm positive I don't have. But it's just said it had 8 or 12 different reasons, like the most common reasons for tingly hands and feet. Diabetes was number one. Infection was one of them, with a list of common infections that cause it. Uh, like I said, kidney failure. Yeah, kidney failure. Thyroid problems. Um, and then medications. Medications was one of the things that could be causing. And that was pretty high up there. I think that was number 3 cause of this tingly hand and feet. So anyways, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I just want to get some of those things off of my chest. And to be honest, since my channel's all about being 100% open, I shouldn't be shy from sharing this, obviously. I was just experiencing like some anxiety just then, and it was, I think, tied to me feeling this tingling sensation and not knowing what it is, and also just being uncomfortable. And it's been going on all day. And now at this point, when I'm finally like, because I've been working on my porch all day. Today's my day off, and I had to get up early to finish that. Um, and it's been bothering me and annoying me, but now like I'm sitting down and I just can't ignore it. Like it's in my body. I can feel it like every second. Uh, and I think I've just been thinking about it, and I don't know. Maybe it's the combination of all the things I've just been talking about. I guess that's the weird thing though, isn't it? Because like as I'm sitting here, I'm actually not like I'm actually not I don't know how to explain that, because all of my actions or what I'm saying would suggest that I'm highly anxious about this. I'm actually not. Like, I'm just really annoyed. Like, right now, I want to go get a shower, make a grilled cheese sandwich with some bacon, and sit down and play some PlayStation, because I called off tomorrow because I'm sick. I have this cold. Um, and then I just want to get to bed at a nice, decent hour, and then wake up, um, take my medicine, and then go back to bed and, sleep off this cold, hopefully feel better. I just want to, get on with my night and have like a, nice, relaxing night on my day off. But like, I feel so uncomfortable. My hands and feet are warm and numb and tingly, and it's really annoying. And I feel like my face is red. Like I said, it could be. I mean, I'm sorry, I sound like a broken record, but I work outside. But I don't know, like, I do kind of feel like I have tingly sensations around my head, um, and up my back. It's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a mess. My body's falling apart, and I'm only 34 years old. It's like so much shit that I don't feel like I should have to be dealing with right now. You know, like, I don't know. I was gonna say, no, never mind, doesn't matter. I don't want to get into all that. But yeah, I'm just really annoyed because I'm really uncomfortable and I just wish it would go away so I can just have a nice meal and a nice shower and sit down and relax a little bit. So, I don't know. I know that was a lot, but I knew I had to get that off my chest and also wanted to document it. And I wanted to see if anyone else out there has any experience with this and if you think it relates to medication that you're taking for your vestibular migraine or if you think it's unrelated. Either way, I emailed my neurologist, Dr. Bay, so I'll see what he says. Hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow. He usually replies to emails. I asked him if I should get an MRI or a CAT scan on my extremities to see if my blood vessels are normal. I don't know if they can tell from imaging if the size of your blood vessels are normal or not. I don't know if that's a possibility. Or if he thinks that that's just a silly thing and I'm an idiot. But I did, I basically summarized everything that I just said now in an email uh, and asked him what he thinks. So hopefully I get a response from him tomorrow. So, yeah, that's that. I'm gonna go get a shower and make dinner. But if you're not thriving, keep trying. Unfortunately, right now, seems like I'm doing the opposite. Feels like I'm going in the opposite direction. But just take one day at a time, and hopefully I can move past this soon. Because I am certainly ready. Ready to get back to me. So, all right. Well, stay safe out there. See you on the next one.